Hello and welcome back to a new campaign of Ultimate General Civil War. And this time we are only going to use the worst weapons available to us. We are playing as the Union and on Brigadier General difficulty because I honestly enjoy the experience. And the rules for our campaign are simple. We are only allowed to use the worst weapons that we can get our hands on. Currently that's the Springfield M1842. But soon we are going to capture large amounts of the farmer and the reward farmer. So, for example, if we want to equip a brigade with the Palmetto M1842, we first have to equip all of our soldiers with the available farmers, then the reward farmers, and then with the Springfield M1842. The same rule of course also applies to our skirmishers, but here I differentiate between short-range weapons like the Sharps Model 1855 and long-range weapons. For example, we can equip soldiers with the Sharps Model 1855, then the Smith, then the Seals Regiment if we should capture some, the Burnside, and so on and so forth until at the end we could give our soldiers the Spencer. For our snipers, of course, the rule is that we first have to get rid of all of the Hunters, then the Sharps, and then theoretically we could get the Whisperers or the JF Brown. The same also applies for our cavalry. We can have skirmishing cavalry and we can have shock cavalry. Logically the shock cavalry would use the Palmetto M1842 and then the Colt, while our skirmish cavalry would use the Sword of the Cook and Brother and then the Sharps Model 1855. In the artillery department we have basically three different categories of guns. We have short range support, like the 6-pounder field gun and the 12-pounder Napoleon. We have howitzers, and we have of course long-range support, starting with the 10-pounder ordnance, going down the 10-pounder Parrott, etc, etc. The 6-pounder Wilds I have not included in the challenge because I have barely ever used them, and I am therefore also not intending to apply them to the challenge. This challenge of course means that we have to focus on politics and on army organization in our career, to make sure that we can field as many soldiers in as many big units as possible, so that we can simply offset the lack of quality in our equipment with numbers. But for now our numbers are lacking. We only have 56 men in reserve, but I was able to recruit 3 new brigades. We have Swallow, Kitching and Kite with over 1,000 soldiers, and in our 2nd division we have Loomis and Wharton with 500 and 400 men. We're also bringing 5 6-pounder field guns and 7 10-pounder ordnances to the battlefield. For now all of our soldiers are armed with the Springfield M1842, and as you can see we do not have any worse weapons available to us. And as we have all seen the Battle of Philippi in previous campaigns, and as it is not relevant to this challenge, we are going to start immediately with the Battle of Distress Call. We do not know what the enemy brings to the field, but we are going to bring 6,300 soldiers and 12 artillery pieces. Our supply depot is in danger of being overrun by rebels. The vanguard of our army moved quickly to reinforce it. Confederate forces approach from this direction. And this road. We've got a few skirmishers to send in order to delay them. You have at your disposal the small garrison of the supply depot, surely not enough men to withstand all those enemies heading towards us. But the rest of your forces will not take long to arrive and join the defense. Today you can win a glorious victory for yourself. Hold your ground, General. For now our orders are incredibly simple. We're going to leave Wood's skirmishers behind so that his brigade can take position on this ridge. These skirmishers are also withdrawn to make sure that we have a better fighting position. Edwin's cavalry is coming in to also support. The plan is to stop the enemy before they can cross this hilltop. In the north we are bringing some skirmishers and Swallow's brigade forward. The same goes with Richard's main force, and we plan to ambush the enemy as they approach. The idea is simply to hold back the enemy as long as possible, to buy enough time for our reinforcements to get in. But of course the rebels are going to send in even more soldiers. And we have to face a tough battle. Swallow, move up quicker please. Once you're there and you have Ransom occupied, we can send in these skirmishers on the flank of Law. Let's send our general forward. These supplies can also get over there. Woods is coming up. We're going to order these skirmishers to hold for now, and Edwin for now has to remain mounted. Kitching skirmishers are going to make sure that we're not getting easily surprised. We know that the enemy has some forces over here. Now, let's get Swallow in there and these skirmishers forward. Richards is also coming up. And Swallow's skirmishers, if possible, I want to move them all the way to this flank. Richards skirmishers, you are in a wonderful position as Law is now opening his flank. Very nice fire. General Trash Panda is over here. He is going to overlook the engagement. And the majority of our force should be quite well supplied. Of course, down here, this position is very, very under strength, but it is for now our best chance to hold back the enemy, as we need a lot more firepower elsewhere. We can see that Evans is approaching. Woods is now coming up. I want him over here. And within a few minutes I'm going to recall these skirmishers. They can then withdraw. Very good. I want them to take position over here to support Woods once the enemy is trying to attack his flanks. And this should hopefully allow us to get some time. Very good. We have a good flanking position on Law. Richard skirmishers, do not withdraw. And we need to get Swallow in. His skirmishers are working on Ransom's flank. Very good. And we hear a charge. The enemy is around our flank. Luckily, Kitching is much stronger than Walker. He should be in a good position to hold him back. Kitching skirmishers need to hold though and open fire. Down here we have lost sight on some enemy forces, but they have also lost sight of our forces, meaning that their artillery is getting closer to our lines, maybe allowing us a quick attack. These skirmishers are falling back. Okay. And it looks like we were able to rout Walker. Now we have eyes on the enemy force. We are opening up on Bardov. Edwin, we are going to dismount and you're going to try to hit Evans. And these skirmishers need to get closer to Bardov. Okay, Walker is withdrawing, and he is of course withdrawing into this house. And Kitching was repelled. He is getting flanked, I do not know from where. Colonel Jimmy Harnish is killed, our first officer casualty. And Richard's skirmishers are rear flanked, I guess, from artillery fire. But we were able to wheel this flank around. Now, let's get Richards around. And Kitching, you need to get back into position. Your skirmishers are going to harass Walker and try to stop him to break through to our southern depot. Down here we are still holding, but morale is only going to hold so long. Edwin, can you get a little bit closer on Evans? Nice. We can see that Walker is opening his flank to Kitching's skirmishers. Very good. Kitching himself is getting back into the fortifications. Richard's skirmishers need to shift. And over here we can advance. Law is coming up. We have his flank exposed. Come on, Richards, open up. Good volley, but not many casualties. Let's get these supplies out of the fighting area. These skirmishers are hopefully able to hold, but they are dying quickly. I do not know what the enemy has over here, therefore I'm not going to send out catching, but I'm going to send out woods skirmishers. So far, Edwin is killing more than he has suffered. B is coming up. Catching, get ready. I'm going to make sure that he is not getting into the fortification of the fort to maximize his firepower. And we are getting our reserves in, just in time. Bardov is charging. The skirmishers need to withdraw. Woods open up on his flank. Skirmishers, fall back, fall back, fall back. Do not let yourself get catched. And it is about time that we are receiving reinforcements. Walton and Loomis, you are going to take position in this fort. These 10-pounders and 6-pounders, I want to move up here as well. I'm sure that the enemy is soon going to break through our flank over here. We can see B trying to outmaneuver us, meaning that we might have to fight to get that depot back. Over here we are still holding back the enemy quite effectively. Kitching, double time it. Do not get flanked by Scott. Well, he got a good hit on us. Walker is running. There is B. Let's get wood skirmishers forward. Walton and Loomis on the double. It looks like Woods soon has to withdraw. For now, he is still able to hold back the enemy. We are in need of a little bit more time. Wood skirmishers are trying to hold back B. Our soldiers are coming in. Our 6-pounders are also about to set up. These skirmishers also need to rush down. Kite, move up. And your skirmishers are also going to join in. Loomis, I want you in the fort. Walton, you need to contest B. We can see that Walker is coming back. Kitching is still occupied. Law's flank is open. Richards, focus on that. Swallow is in the meantime trying to get ransom. Let's get our general up. Richards' skirmishers are falling back. They're down to 45 soldiers. They might break. And over here I want these guys to fire. Loomis, why are you running in this way? He is not caught in melee, that is at least something. Walter, move up. We can see that B is routing. Colonel Rene Edwin is wounded. Loomis, get in the fort. And these guys, I need them in the north. 10-pounders also open fire. I have forgotten about those guns. Edwin has taken over 149 casualties. Let's make sure they get out of there. Bartov is trying to outflank us and he is going to succeed. But so far we were able to rout B and Walker. Kite is coming up just in time as Law has also seen that he can simply outrun our flank. But I think it will all work out fine. Let's get our supplies down to make sure that our artillery has enough ammunitions. Walton and Loomis, you are going to take position over here. Let's build up a small skirmishing line over here. And so far we can see that surprisingly these skirmishers held and Bartov is routing. Evans is still down here and the artillery is doing a heavy number on us, but I do not think that... No, Woods is not one of our own guys. Therefore, it does not really matter that much if his soldiers get wasted. We can see that B is coming up. Let's rush Walton out. Loomis, you're going to remain in place. Let's focus Swallow on Daniel's flank. We are taking heavy casualties over here. Scott's cavalry is over there. Let's try to get aim on them. It looks like they got away. Law's down to 350 soldiers. We should be able to defeat them. Let's get Walton forward. And over here, Woods is in a very hard time. Let's get these skirmishers around to help them against Evans. Edwin, I want you to mount up again and retreat. And in the meantime, you can hit B in the flank. Walton, you're also going to rush forward. Try not to get flanked yourself. Very good. Now it is time to hit and hurt the enemy. We can see that Law is withdrawing. Time to set Kite out for the counterattack. Kitching is going to remain within the fortifications. Richards has taken almost 200 casualties. The same goes with Swallow. But so far we are holding. Let's hope that we can now start hitting enemy artillery lines. And over here we have found Walker. He is trying to get our cavalry, it seems. We are simply going to order Edwin to withdraw. In the meantime, everyone open up on Walker. And these 6-pounders take aim on B. He is trying to get into our flank. Kitching, wheel around. Law has 200 men remaining. He is still holding, even though he is wavering for quite some time now. Kitching was able to hit Scott. Very good, and there we can see B running north. Major Gary Swallow was killed. Well, I guess he swallowed that one. Woods is holding. These skirmishers are now rushing forward again to meet Bartov. Can we get Kitching's boys down there? Walton, focus on Walker. And it looks like we have this almost in the back. Richards, if nope, you cannot do that, you are going to get flanked. And we need to get our supplies north. 6-pounders get closer. B is trying to attack. These 10-pounders also open up on B. And Kitching, get ready. Hold your ground. Kite, also hold your ground. Scott is coming in. And B tries to charge, but we outnumber him 2-1. This should be easy for us. These skirmishers have taken heavy casualties. Woods is down to 400 men. Let's hope Kitching skirmishers can turn the tide. And it doesn't. And I don't think that this supply depot is going to be threatened anymore. We're going to leave Loomy skirmishers behind. And there we have B routing. Supply is an issue. Our men are taking casualties. We are still fighting. Let's hope. Yes, there is our supply train coming. He is down to 270 soldiers. At best he would just surrender. Maybe we can catch him. And there Walker is withdrawn. Let's get Walton forward. We are now in melee. Nope. Break off the engagement. Try to hit Scott. Walton also try to hit Scott. What is going on? Why is Kitching rear flank? We can see that one Confederate brigade broke. Scott is through our lines. Let's order everything that we have to fire on him. Loomis, I also need you to wheel around while these skirmishers try to get on the flank of the enemy soldiers. Edwin, rush in. And these guns need to focus fire over here. It says that Kitching is rear flanked. He was moving very strange. And over here the enemy has decided to charge our positions. I cannot see how many soldiers they have. But I also do not think that I can wheel Richards around, otherwise Daniels is going to tear them apart. Let's hope Swallow skirmishers are going to be enough. In the meantime, we are going to start our attack on B. I'm going to get kite skirmishers around. These Confederates broke. And I want these guys to pursue the enemy. These skirmishers can focus on Bartov. They need to hold him in place. Loomis, you need to get back to the fort. Scott's cavalry is behind our lines. These 10-pounders can move up. And it looks like this fight ended in a draw. Ransom is falling back, but so is Swallow. Swallow did a tremendous fight here. The same goes with Richard. They are fighting all day long, trying to stop and exhaust the enemy, and they have been quite successful in that. We can see that Scott's cavalry is withdrawing. Loomis still has to hang back. I do not trust them to not suddenly outflank us. And we can see that enemy artillery is starting to withdraw. Soon we are going to have dealt with Evans, and then we are going to get their guns. B is almost down. Yes, B has fallen. Let's get our boys forward on Letna. Swallow's also back, and Ransom is withdrawing. Very good. Enemy supplies are running out. And ours are getting replenished as we are getting our supply wagon closer and closer to our lines. 10-pounders, if possible, open fire over there. These 6-pounders I want to get into the fortifications just to make sure that they are a little bit better protected. Ooh, down here it doesn't look like these skirmishers are going to survive the fight, but they are none of our soldiers, so it doesn't really matter. Evans is still fighting, and we can see these supplies are getting closer to our own line. Let's get Edwin over here and order him not to shoot. Maybe we can capture some much needed supplies. And we have almost dealt with this enemy battery. Swallow open on the flank of Daniel. And we can see over here more Confederate cavalry withdrawing and not engaging our lines. There are the enemy supplies. I want them. We only have 2 minutes left on this fight, so let's make sure that we can get them. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes, we have captured some enemy supplies. This is very good for us. And with this, our first battle comes to a close. We have deployed over 4,600 infantrymen, 236 cavalrymen and 12 artillery pieces. But we have also taken over 1,800 casualties amongst our infantry, 13 artillerymen have died, and 151 of our cavalrymen have perished. On the Confederate side, they had 5,200 infantry, 414 cavalrymen and 15 guns. And they have lost 3,600 of their infantry, 3 artillery pieces, 147 cavalrymen, and we were able to capture their supplies. Needless to say, we have achieved all of our goals. And the best unit by far was Kitching with over 920 kills. After that comes Kite with 563 kills, and he only suffered 66 losses. After him, Swallow was able to defeat 544 enemy soldiers. Our losses are led by Richards, who has suffered 558 casualties, followed by Swallow with 370 and Woods with 307. Amongst our officer corps, Gary Swallow was killed and Rennie Edwin was wounded. Apart from that, we can celebrate a couple promotions. We also captured 145 Springfield M1842, 423 farmers and 225 reboard farmers. Last but not least, we got some supplies, 30 Cook & Brothers and 1 6-pounder field gun. And to make sure that we can improve our army, we were rewarded with $69,000 and 4,100 recruits. We also got an additional career point and 4 reputation. And in exchange for the 114 prisoners we took, 118 additional recruits were given to us. But this has to be it for our first episode. Next episode we are going to fight in the Battle of Bull Run, and we are going to see a slow decline in the quality of our equipment. I hope you are as excited for this challenge as I am, and until we meet again, I wish you all a great time.